Welcome to Through the Drama. Kris, Harrison, and Lauren Zima coming to you from our home office in Austin, Texas. Happy Tuesday, everybody. LZ, what's on our mind today?
Oh, what's on our mind today? Love, betrayal, divorce, reunions, affairs.
Yes. Is it the same for men and women? Does it matter if the other person's
sleeping together?
There's a lot.
This is all wrapped up in one story. Everything dramatic I just said is all embodied in Hugh Jackman's life these days, which is wild. So our what kept us up last night is the state of Hugh Jackman's love life. And it is all tied into a new statement from his now estranged wife.
Yes.
I never know. Is it Deborah or Deborah? It's got to be Deborah.
I'm going to say
spelled
Deborah.
Weird.
Yeah.
Nobody's ever a Deborah. And
Deborah Lee Furness. We're going to go
Deborah Lee Furness. So they were married 27 years.
Yes.
Met young. She's actually about 10 years older than him, but a long and happy marriage. I think the biggest rumors they ever fought in their marriage were for years. Sometimes there was a rumor going around that Hugh was gay. And she actually spoke out about it once and said if he was going to be gay, he'd just be gay. So they're together for a long time. And then a couple years ago, they separated. Now, when they did, this was kind of looked at as pretty low key, not too crazy, but there were rumors at the time that he was hooking up with his co-star in The Music Man, Sutton Foster. Well, things stayed amicable until a few days ago. Deborah releases a statement, and I'm going to read it because it is, it's a big one. She says, and I quote, my heart and compassion goes out to everyone who has traversed the traumatic journey of betrayal. It's a profound wound that cuts deep. However, I believe in a higher power and that God / the universe, good slash there, whatever you relate to as your guidance is always working for us. I have gained much knowledge and wisdom through this experience. Even when we are presented with adversity, it is leading to our greatest good, our true purpose. It can hurt, but in the long run, return to yourself and live within your own integrity.
I think, we were all a little surprised because Hugh Jackman's always had this squeaky clean persona. And when they first separated, there was a very amicable joint statement of we just wish each other well. We're going to go through this process. Now the details are slipping out, and now it has become very apparent that Hugh was cheating on her.
Yes.
And betrayed her. And according to her, according to Deborah, definitely he was having this affair with Sutton, his co-star. And by the way, if we
word betrayal says a lot.
If we put that picture back up of them on stage in Broadway, the picture you don't want when it's that you're having an affair, it's this. Like, that doesn't say sexy. It's not, that's not the best picture you want.
Okay, let me give you a hot take on this, though. And it's kind of what you and I were getting into, which is, why isn't that the best picture you want?
It's just us and the Music Man.
But this is what this is exactly the crux of it. So what you and I were talking about last night is Hugh Jackman, as you said, has had this good guy persona for years. So how will this go for him? Like, how will it go that now his ex-wife is using the word betrayal and seeming to confirm these affair rumors with his co-star? And by the way, they are now together. We should have noted that.
Right.
Hugh and Sutton are now together.
Yeah, it's not speculative. They are together.
They've been out together. They've been seen on dates together. They did wait about a year after his separation to go out to dinner together, but she divorced her husband of 10 years in October. So it seems
I broached the question to you last night.
Yes.
Why do some celebrities get away with this and some don't? Some, we don't know how Hugh Jackman's going to go, but for the most part, he's been sliding by. You're not hearing a lot of people trashing him. Maybe it'll change. And we thought of other celebrities. I remember Will Smith famously in 1995 left his wife, Cherie Zampino, and that's when he got together with Jada Pinkett Smith.
Are you sure it isn't Sheree? We're doing a lot of mispronunciation of ex-wives today.
And so that famously happened, and he didn't catch a lot of grief either.
Okay, I think back then, there's no social media. So things can kind of live and die very quickly in the media of back then. You don't have people coming for you in the comments. Social media today creates this sort of continual storm that keeps on going. The waves keep rolling in. But I think it raised two questions for me. One, does gender matter? I sometimes think like Hugh Jackman's got a lot of years of goodwill built up of being a good guy, a family guy, and women love Hugh Jackman. And he didn't go out also, I will say. Well, okay, first, does gender matter?
Yeah, well, because then you have the Ariana Grande relationship.
Yes.
During Wicked with Ethan Slater.
Her co-star, who was married at the time, and then the wife has spoken out, and Ariana Grande got absolutely blasted for that. Annihilated. So
yeah. And obviously that has happened recently in the day and age of social media and all that. So is it social media or is it gender?
I think it's both. I do think people kind of come for women a little bit harder. Think of Meg Ryan and that whole Russell Crowe thing years ago when they were in a movie together. It really hurt her career. But I do think it's also about how people viewed you before. Like Hugh Jackman has been seen as this family guy. And going back to the photo you brought up of them and the Music Man, I think it makes a difference that he's not like, oh, I'm with some 20-year-old now and he's looking like he's having a midlife crisis. It's actually looking like two theater nerds who finally found each other.
Like there couldn't be anything less threatening than that.
He's 56, she's 50.
Yeah.
They've known each other for years as friends before.
Because you had like an Angelina Jolie.
And Brad Pitt.
During Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Mm-hmm. That infamous, taking him away from Jennifer Aniston, and everyone really gave Angelina a hard time. They didn't give Brad Pitt a hard time. They gave Angelina.
But she was younger and people had loved Brad and Jen together. I think your story, your narrative beforehand matters. Who you are cheating with matters. And then, gender, age, those things for sure come into play. Now, Hugh's friend spoke out and he said, I don't know if he thought he was helping him, but Hugh's childhood friend gave an interview and said, well, I care about both of them, but Deborah really needs to move on because Hugh has. I was like, that's not helping, actually. I think that makes you look worse.
I read the same article that the friend spoke out, and I thought, man, he really isn't helping either one of them very much. Speaking of not being helped out, this Bill Belichick story with his girlfriend has gotten to another level of weird. We're going to discuss that when we come back. Welcome back to Through the Drama. Kris and Lauren with you. Look, this Bill Belichick, Jordan Hudson thing just won't go away. And things took a very interesting turn for the University of North Carolina that maybe they can get out of that contract.
Okay, I saw this in the New York Times.
Yeah.
The New York Times did a headline on Bill Belichick's, what is it? Sorry for my sports lack of awareness.
He's the head coach of the University of North Carolina.
Yes.
And you asked a very pertinent question. When we first talked about this, you said, could they get out of this contract? Well, as of June 1st, he being Bill Belichick, put a very interesting clause in his own contract. The buyout, which was $10 million leading up to June 1st, is now down to $1 million. That was put in by Bill Belichick so he could probably get out if the NFL came calling, because he wants to get back to the NFL. So he put a special clause in his own contract that everybody can get out for $1 million. But now this may have come around to bite him in the backside, because now the University of North Carolina may exercise that $1 million buyout.
Interesting. Because of course he's made so many headlines with this romance with his 50 years younger girlfriend. She's reportedly been taking over his businesses, handling his PR now. There are rumors that she was banned from the facilities at the university.
And then another bombshell was dropped as people, I don't know who did this discovery, but they dove into this real estate deal. So back in 2021, when they first met, and Jordan was 20 years old, she suddenly started showing up to cheerleading practice in a $75,000 Porsche. That started turning heads. Then, about a year later, Jordan acquired 3 properties worth $8 million, a $2.2 million townhome in Boston, a $2.3 million home, and a $3 million building. Oh, there's also a $610,000 cottage in Cape Cod. All of this is 100% in this 24-year-old's name.
Not in Bill's at all.
Not in Bill's, just hers. She now has an $8 million real estate empire, and I don't know if she still has the $75,000 Porsche.
So, okay, so somebody finds this out. And what is the indication there? Like, is it, how much is Bill Belichick worth? How much of his fortune does she have at this point?
That is interesting. You know, people are, when the reports came out months ago that all this was going down and she had so much control and there was that really awkward interview at CBS, a lot of people started just thinking, is he okay? Is he in control of everything? You know, is there elder abuse going on here? What's going on in his life? And then when things like this come to fruition and into the light of day, it's concerning.
So do you think that is it UNC?
Yeah.
Will pull out of this job offer?
I don't know. I would say at the very least, there have to be conversations going on of, do we just bite the bullet? Do we just pull the plug on this and get out of this mess? You know, one thing I think is for sure, I don't think Bill Belichick will ever go back to the NFL. There can't be a franchise in the world that's thinking that's a good idea.
Why didn't he get an NFL offer when he was done with the Patriots?
Well, now maybe we know.
Oh my gosh. I remember wondering that at the time. Do you think this relationship was why back then?
Well, one thing I do know.
Because it has come out that they've been dating
Yes.
longer than we thought, right?
Yeah, this goes back to 4 or 5 years ago.
Okay.
And so definitely, you know, the NFL is very good about doing their due diligence. They do their background checks. They definitely go deep on all of these coaches and players, et cetera. It stands to reason this is why he didn't get that call, and stands to reason why he will never get that call.
So there was also this drama with the reporter Pablo Torre, who like found out a lot of this stuff, and Bill Simmons from The Ringer said why it kind of slammed him for dining out on the story. I'm sorry. I'm interested in this story. Everybody's interested in this story. Yeah,
and Bill Simmons, who I do like, is a devout Northeastern Massachusetts Patriots fan. So he probably loves Belichick. And the thing about Pablo Torre is he kind of, did this initial investigative reporting. And the thing is UNC and Belichick kind of went after him and denied everything. He stood by his sources. It's like, look, if you guys are going to kick over this anthill, now I'm really going to do some investigative reporting. And so Pablo has kept going with this story. And again, we find out it has more and more legs and there's more and more layers to this thing. She now has an $8 million empire.
If I'm Bill Belichick's kids,
yes,
I'm freaking out right now.
Yeah.
I would be, I'm losing it. I'm like, Dad, what are you doing? You're embarrassing us. You're embarrassing yourself. You're ruining your legacy. You're giving away all of your money. She's got to be younger than his kids. Wild. Okay, well, let's move on. You know what? Some people wonder how they met. Could it have been Tinder? I don't know. But the question is, who is meeting on Tinder these days, and how can Tinder change that? Well, the dating app is apparently trying to become more than a hookup app, which Tinder has gotten the reputation for in recent years. I don't really know any married couples who met on Tinder. So one of the ways they're doing it, they are introducing a height filter.
Right.
You can now, and it's a paid feature, filter people out based on height on Tinder. The incoming CEO of Tinder says that this is in part to help with intentionality during dating, which, I mean, I guess you're intentionally only picking people for their physical attributes.
Well, two things. Number one, I guess Hinge and OkCupid already do this, but
that blew my mind.
They're all owned by the same company.
Match.
Yeah, they're all owned by the same company. But the people that seem to be speaking out the most about this, ironically, short men, but tall women, are also feeling like they are kind of ostracized by this, that men don't want tall women and women don't want short men.
I think this height filter thing is an awful idea. I think it's incredibly superficial. I am so not a fan. Let me pose this. What if it was a weight filter?
Right.
Listen, men, you guys are kind of insecure about your height. You are. And I think for women, I would say the equivalent's probably we're always critiquing ourselves for our weight. Height's something you can't change.
Right.
And I would pose to anybody who's thinking about the height filter.
Yes.
This is going to sound bad. How much does 1 inch matter for your future happiness? But
Happy Tuesday, everybody.
let me expand on that. If you do this height filter thing,
Yeah.
you might say 6 feet and above. I would imagine a lot of women will go, no, I don't want anybody under 6 feet.
Yeah.
And if a guy's 5'11" and he's the man of your dreams,
He's out of your algorithm.
right?
Yeah.
You're literally filtering him out. And I don't think that's smart. I think a lot of the people I know who are single and unhappy today are those people who are making the decisions,
Yeah.
like putting it under the guise of I'm not settling, but really it's like nobody's perfect. And I do think there's a difference between not settling versus just being a little flexible on maybe what you thought you wanted on paper and the fact that people are real and they're not just on a screen.
Right. I want to date a guy who's 6'1",
Yeah.
is a millionaire, is all the things that, as the song says, 6'1", man in finance.
Oh, yeah. You're going for the TikTok song.
But
yes. Fine.
I too agree. It kind of reminds me of a few days ago when we pulled that quote from Sofia Vergara. And she was talking about, I don't want to date a man who makes less money than me. And I'm like, anybody who puts such restrictions on what they're looking for, you're doing yourself a disservice. You never know what you're going to find in love, whether they are younger, older, richer, poorer, shorter, taller, whatever. I just think if you go out there with those limitations already, you're just doing yourself a grave disservice.
I don't think we can date in absolutes. We can't date in absolutes. Now, there are some funny headlines coming out of this Tinder news, such as, oh no, the reign of the short king is over. And the short king, again, let's give the short guys out there some love. Keith Urban, incredible guy, great husband, significantly shorter than Nicole Kidman, okay? I mean, he comes up to her shoulder. But do you want the love story of Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban? We do. We absolutely do. I've interviewed them. They're very happy together.
LZ, yesterday I just learned a new term.
Okay.
Labubu.
And now we can't stop saying
Does
it.
anybody know what labubu is? Maybe you should. We'll tell you next.
Welcome back to Through the Drama. Who the drama? You the drama? Labubu drama. Okay, everybody. What is a labubu? I cannot quit saying this. It is the new.
She really cannot quit saying it.
I have to stop. My new nickname for Kris is Labubu. And listen, babe, Labubu, it works. The latest craze is Labubu dolls. I would say this is the new Furby, the new Tickle Me Elmo, the new Tamagotchi.
Except this is for adults, really. I don't see kids going crazy. I see adults.
Is it the new Beanie Baby? Adults really collected Beanie Babies.
Because basically what it is, it's like an accessory to your bag,
Yes.
your designer bag. So it's for rich people who want more rich things.
Okay.
It's the bougiest thing I've ever seen.
But they didn't start out that expensive. But now I think they were like $20. And now some of them are going for the hundreds. This is the type of new toy accessory where it's being viewed as a collectible.
Right.
You buy a package and you don't know which one you're going to get. People are lining up for Labubus all over the world. I think they're a little creepy looking. I showed them to our makeup and hair
They're
team
very
before
creepy
this.
looking. But you know what? Most of those crazy dolls are.
Yes. Our makeup artist said that they look like gremlins. They have kind of an unsettling, it's the kind of doll you don't want to come alive at you in the middle of the night.
And I guess the people that are responsible for this, Rihanna and Dua Lipa, I guess were the first to be seen with them. And then they went TikTok crazy. And now celebrities are all over this thing.
We see Lizzo with the Labubu dolls. Hilary Duff has been seen on social media with a doll. So everybody's into them. And
See, the thing is, you put it on your designer bag.
Now, surprisingly, it might raise a bigger question. I want to read to you a line from the New Zealand Herald. And the question is, are Labubu dolls a recession indicator? This is interesting. They kind of talked to this expert about there's this human need to purchase the new in thing, but is it a little bit like that famous line that when there's a recession, lipstick sales go up? Like when you don't have a lot of money, do you buy yourself something kind of inexpensive just to feel good? What do you think?
I think that's very thin. Someone needed an article that day and they completely fabricated that. But what I am happy about, especially for parents, is don't worry, you're not going to be sleeping outside the Toys R Us, as if those still existed, to get this Beanie Baby or the American Doll, whatever. This has nothing to do with your kids. This is women putting them on their designer bags.
It's
so
kind of like
we're safe.
Those precious moments that were collectibles. Here's the most important thing, everybody. The collectible things are never worth anything. All those people with the Beanie Babies, they just don't do that, okay? The Princess Diana Beanie Baby is not paying for your kids to go to college, and neither is Labubu number 76.
And you can also feel rest assured, by the time we're talking about it and we hear about it, the fad's over.
So you won't be buying me any Labubu.
No, we got to get, first, we're trying to get the word out of our house, much less the dolls.
All right, our last topic for today. Yesterday, we left you with a little eye candy, and we're going to do the same today. Mm-hmm. Our girl, Bethany Frankel. We've had her on our shows before. I've interviewed her many times. Brilliant reality star and businesswoman. Well, now she's a supermodel. Bethany made headlines on the Sports Illustrated runway over the past couple days, looking great at 54.
Yeah.
What did you think when you saw this?
A few celebs, influencers. And first of all, what I didn't realize is they would have to go through so many different bathing suits. I think she had like 4 or 5 different bathing suits. She looks fantastic. Like, kudos to Bethany. Like, the bravery it takes to walk out there among the supermodels.
Right.
Yeah.
I think she is wearing a wig because she was on social media with very different hair within the past couple
She looks great.
She credited, she's like, listen, the glam squad is a real thing. She also said, interestingly, per Bethany, she didn't do any like crash dieting or anything. She said she just kind of walks on the beach and lives in moderation.
Kudos to her.
I think she looks amazing.
I do too. Good. And
Bethany, you're our Labubu.
That's our daily eye candy. Thank you for joining us today. We appreciate you joining us each and every day. You can join us right here on Merit. You can also listen to us wherever your favorite podcasts are found. We will be here tomorrow because, LZ, we have a lot more drama to get through.
Thanks, everybody.
Hey, Dr. Phil here. My network, Merit TV, has it all.
Now, let me blow your mind.
Merit TV's got the news that matters.
The selection of a new pope.
Entertainment you crave.
Busted.
Everybody in a good mood today?
And live events.
Surprise.
What am I, chopped liver?
With serious punch.
Big shot.
Go to merittv.com and download the Merit TV app today.